To the youngsters, I know you're having fun. I used to have fun myself, but there's something you need to know. Stuff like that, that's a load of crap. That's a load of crap.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back for another NFL video. Today we're going to cover the Steelers, their offseason, and some of the AFC North teams. So, Steelers, congratulations. You got a new quarterback. He doesn't have small hands anymore. Don't have to worry about that anymore. But I guess he had undersized concerns. I don't know. You got Russell Wilson.
Ego. His name's Mr. Unlimited. You gotta be
At quarterback. I don't know how exciting that is after his stint with the Broncos. But don't worry. If that doesn't work, you got Justin Fields. You trade for two quarterbacks. You didn't trade. You trade for one quarterback and signed another. Interesting pair. Maybe he'll be returning kicks for you. So, good on you, Steeler Nation. So, with that, let's get started. So, with the Pittsburgh Steelers this offseason, they had a pretty significant offseason in that their offense changed significantly. What I mean by that, they got rid of Kenny Pickett, traded him, shipped him off to Philly. Good, see you later, Pickett. And they signed Russell Wilson. He's on his last legs. He didn't play all that great in Denver. See how he does in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin never had a losing season. Maybe he can get him back rolling. Maybe. I don't know. And not only that, they traded with Chicago to get Justin Fields. So they got Justin Fields out of Chicago. And I actually like that move. Now, I don't know if I like it now that they have Russell Wilson. I don't know. I kind of would prefer Justin Fields over Russell Wilson right now, and I don't think that's a hot take, as Russell Wilson has been shaky as of late, but Justin Fields, he's a young quarterback. He's been playing better, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Fields starts for this team sometime this season. So, there you go. That's the quarterback situation right there. But not only that, they added a ton of new talent to this team. They added Patrick Queen from the Ravens, inside linebacker. Hasn't been all that great as of late, but maybe joining Pittsburgh can change that. I don't know. He has potentially played good his rookie season. So, there's still hope for Patrick Queen there. So, he'll be joining Cole Holcomb at the inside linebacker position. They got Dante Jackson from a trade. When they traded Deontay Johnson, they got Dante Jackson back at corner. So they got secondary help there to line up across from Troy, or what's his name? Joey Porter Jr. And they signed Cordell Patterson, a great special teams player, and a gadget on offense. Not only that, they invested heavily on the line. They drafted Troy Fautanu in the first round, Zach Frazier in the second round. They got a receiver in the third round, and Peyton Willis, another inside linebacker for them. So they invested heavily on the line. They got some more weapons, and they had some pieces on the secondary. So, if you look at their losses, though, they did lose Allen Robinson, not really a significant piece there. Keanu Neal, again, not another significant piece. Patrick Peterson, he's old, he's getting up there in age. And they traded Deontay Johnson. That was a big one. They lost Deontay Johnson, traded him off to Carolina, and they got rid of Kenny Pickett. So, just looking at this team now, though, Najee Harris is rumored to get traded, which wouldn't be a bad idea since you have Jaylen Warren. Most people think Jaylen Warren's the better running back anyways. And if you look at the weapons, you got George Pickens, you got Van Jefferson, and you got Roman Wilson. Those are the projected starting three wide receivers as of right now. And pair that up with Pat Freiermuth. But here's the interesting thing. You look at this line. I'm looking at the depth chart. They have listed the starting five. 3 of them are rookies. And 1 of them got drafted last year's draft. So they invested heavily through the draft on this line. It's a young core. They got Fautanu listed as the left tackle. Mason McCormick, I think it was like a 4th or 5th round draft pick for them in this year's draft. Zach Frazier, the 2nd round pick. And then they got Broderick Jones from last year's draft. So I think that's a big That's a big line. I think they have potential. We'll see how they play the first season. It'll be interesting. It has potential to be a good line. Steelers have been struggling with the line the last few years, and they finally decided to invest heavily on it. So, good on them. You look at the defense. They still got T.J. Watt. The linebacker core is incredible. You got T.J. Watt, Holcomb, Patrick Queen, Alex Highsmith. You still have Cameron Hayward, Larry Ogunjobi, and then the secondary was another issue for the Steelers team that they did address. They traded for Dante Jackson. They got Deshaun Elliott, Minka Fitzpatrick's still there, and Joey Porter's going to be entering his second season. So, if you look at the Steelers team, I like the moves they made this offseason. I think they only got better, especially at the quarterback position, which they needed significantly, and as well as the O-line. O-line play should be better, potentially. I don't know. It depends on how these rookies play. So if they all hit, that's great for Pittsburgh. So the defense, I think the defense is still going to be that Pittsburgh defense, that tough steel wall. And it looks like that the Steelers team, the AFC North is definitely the best division, I think, in the football right now. If you look at this team is pretty solid. I don't know if they're going to win the division with Justin Fields or Russell Wilson at quarterback. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tricky thing. We'll get to that as we get closer to the season. But I think Pittsburgh made the right moves to get them closer to getting to the top of that division, making some noise. They already made some noise last year. Where did they finish? They finished 10-7. Record of 10-7 last year, third in the AFC North. And if they finish 10-7 with Kenny Pickett at quarterback, I wonder what they're going to do with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. Especially if Russell Wilson go back to playing as how he did in Seattle, that'd be huge. So, the sky's the limit for Pittsburgh. Maybe they can make some noise, We'll see what happens there. Moving on, we're going to take a look at the rest of the division here real quick. Baltimore made some big moves. They got Derrick Henry, the big bowling ball running back that he is. He's going to be replacing Gus Edwards, who left. I think he went to the Chargers. He signed with the Chargers. And, of course, the Ravens lost Patrick Queen, went to their division rival, and the Steelers. And what's up with these players going to their division rivals, man? It's such a common thing nowadays where, they stay in the division. I find that very interesting. I don't know why that is. And then you got Geno Stone also left. I don't know where he went. Did he stay in he stayed in the division. He went to the Bengals. Another one that went to stay in the division. It's going to be interesting games, I swear. And then they lost Rocky Sin, Davion Clowney, and Kevin Zeitler. So the line took a hit. The edge rushers took a hit. They didn't really address inside linebacker. But they still have Roquan Smith there, and he played pretty well last season. So that might not be a big issue with losing Patrick Queen. And they did lose Geno Stone, which is not a big issue as they still have Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton. They didn't do much this offseason. Their biggest additions is Derrick Henry. They added Josh Jones, a tackle, to beef up that O-line. They took a hit with Kevin Zeitler leaving, and they also drafted Roger Rosengart today, who's projected to be the starting right tackle, I believe. And they also addressed the secondary by drafting Nate Wiggins. As long as he's healthy, he'll be a pretty good corner. You line him across from Marlon Humphreys, and that's a pretty solid secondary, especially with having Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams in the back. So, the Ravens, they made some good moves. O-line might take a step back. Edge rushers could be an issue for this team rushing the pass or rushing the quarterback, but they still have Justin Matabake, and he definitely had a breakout season last year, so he could stop the run and probably rush the passer. So we'll see, but that's it, man. I mean, they still have Adafe Owe, and Kyle Van Noy. It's two solid ones, but Kyle Van Noy, he's getting up there in age, but he's still been making plays. We've been saying that for a while. And then Owe, he just I guess he has to develop. I don't know if he had a good season last year. Finished last year with 5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. Not bad. Still a young guy too, 25. So we'll see if he can take the next step there. So the Ravens, interesting offseason. And as long as they have Lamar Jackson and he stays healthy, they'll be contending for the AFC North. Another interesting thing, they didn't really address their wideouts. They're just staying with Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and who's their third string now? It looks like it's gonna be Nelson Aguilar. They did draft Devontae Walker, so we'll see if he can step it up and climb up the depth chart. So it seems like they're gonna be rocking with the same crew, which I don't know, because the Bengals also kind of took a step down. So I don't think it'd be a huge issue for the Ravens. We'll see. Moving on, we got the Bengals, and they took a big hit this offseason, I think. They lost Tyler Boyd. He just signed with the Titans today. And T. Higgins could be in a potential trade. DJ Reader was a huge loss for them. He's one of the top defensive tackles, especially in the run stopping. He was huge for this Bengals defense. They lost Jordan Williams to tackle. Tight end, they lost Irv Smith Jr. and then Trey Hendrickson is like, he's requesting a trade. And then of course they lost Joe Mixon as well. So these moves are like huge hits on them, but like they spent most of the offseason kind of filling up those gaps. Like they signed Sheldon Rankins, and they also drafted Chris Jenkins, a defensive tackle out of Michigan, in the second round to kind of replace the production from DJ Reader. But I don't know if they'll get the same production. Sheldon Rankins won't, but maybe Chris Jenkins can develop into something. We'll see what happens there. It'll be tough to follow DJ Reader, but maybe they can get some production back from that. So we'll see. They got Geno Stone from the Ravens. This is a good ad for a secondary that was kind of struggling. Their secondary is young. The cornerbacks are young. And then they signed Von Bell. But they also have Jordan Battle back there too. He's listed as a starting safety. So we'll see what happens there. Cam Taylor-Britt and DJ Turner are two young corners. We'll see if they are able to step it up from last year. And to replace Mixon, they signed Zach Moss, who had a pretty good season last year from the Colts. And then they got Trent Brown and drafted Amarius Mims to address that O-line issue to replace Jonah Williams and kind of beef up that O-line. Mike Gesicki's a good pass catcher at tight end. And they drafted Jermaine Burton, of course, to replace one of the receivers. Tyler Boyd, he's out of there. So we'll see how he does. He got talent out of Bama. T. Higgins, we'll see what happens there. He's most likely getting traded. They give Joe Burrow a big contract, but you got to do that when you got a big quarterback like that. So this Bengals team, as long as Joe Burrow can stay healthy, that offense should be solid as long as the O-line can protect him. The defense kind of took a big hit. The linebacker group is still pretty strong. Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt. But the edge rusher, Trey Hendrickson, might not be there. Sam Hubbard, you got the other edge rusher there. You got Myles Murphy from last year. Didn't get much playing time, but so this Bengals team, this whole division is kind of like an interesting spot. The Ravens had a lot of new talent there. The Bengals replacing a lot of the guys they lost as well. The only team that kind of stayed consistent is pretty much the Browns. The only losses the Browns have, Joe Flacco, like the big notable ones, Joe Flacco, Anthony Walker, and Sione Takitaki. And what did they do? They traded for Jerry Jeudy, much needed in the wide receiver room, as they only have Amari Cooper. They don't have Donovan Peoples-Jones anymore, and they still have Cedric Tillman, the second-year receiver out of Tennessee, I believe. Yes. So the wide receiver room needed some help there, so they got Jerry Jeudy. He didn't get much production in Denver, so maybe a new change of location can can help him out a little bit here and help the Browns out. We'll see. They're hoping for him to take that step up. He's still young, but he's reaching that time where he's got to start producing now. But they lost Joe Flacco, a pretty good quarterback that played for them last year, had good play. And Jameis Winston as their backup quarterback, having a good backup is crucial, especially when you have Deshaun Watson, who went down early last year to shoulder injuries. And then they signed Jordan Hicks to replace some of the linebackers they lost there. So the Browns team is still, they still got that good defense. Deshaun Watson, hopefully he's able to stay healthy. We don't know how he's going to play in Cleveland. And then they got Nick Chubb. He's another question mark, as he had a pretty bad injury early last year. He had to be sit out for the rest of the year. Hopefully he can return to the same production he had before he got injured. And of course they got Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, added some more weapons there. Cedric Tillman's still there. David Njoku, one of the top tight ends in the AFC right now. And then the O-line, so you just hope they kind of stay consistent. They're pretty solid. They got some good guys there. The big question, of course, is still that offense. The defense, you got no question. They're going to be playing hard. They were one of the top defenses last year. Now the offense, you just got to hope Deshaun Watson stays healthy and Nick Chubb returns to his old self. So we'll see what happens there. And then the receivers, you just hope someone can get open. Amari Cooper will. And then the question mark is if Jerry Jeudy and Elijah Moore can step it up. So that's pretty much the Browns. And this division, man, it's so hard to pick who's going to win because it kind of comes down to the Bengals or the Ravens. But, they took their fair share of hits. Browns stay consistent. They still have that awesome defense. And they dressed the offense a little bit. So Cleveland Browns are the dark horses for this division. And then you got the Steelers, too, who will definitely be making some noise. I think everyone in this division is going to get a winning season. We'll see what happens. So, that concludes the AFC North. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Every like and subscribers help, and it means a ton to me. I appreciate you guys. And then comment down below, what do you guys think of this division? Who had the best offseason? Who had the worst offseason? I think, honestly, the best offseason, probably, I don't know. I think the Steelers. I think they won the draft. They got an upgrade at corner and at quarterback. So I think it's the Steelers. I'm going to go with the Steelers for the sneaky best offseason for this division. For worst, I got to go to the Bengals, I think, because they lost so much talent. DJ Reader's gone. Trey Henderson is requesting a trade. They lost Joe Mixon. Tyler Boyd's gone. T. Higgins asking for a trade. So, yeah. So, let me know down below in the comments below. And thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.